All right, guys. Hope you guys had a good Monday. Pretty good trading day for me. So, we saw today what could possibly have been the bulls reaching their last point of exhaustion. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. If you guys read my CPI document that I posted about the trends and historically how the day before CPI has behaved, and especially the 2 days before, I'm expecting and was expecting a red Monday and Tuesday. Um, Historically, over the last four CPIs, we have seen about a 2.6% drop total over the Monday and Tuesday, or the 2 days before, because some of them have not been on Monday or on Wednesdays. So we lost about 0.12% today. So historically, we could see a pretty red day tomorrow. I'm not sure if we're going to get it or not, but today was definitely a pretty weak day, and the Bears, they defended pretty well today. We had some pretty big rejections, and end of day today, I was kind of expecting the Bulls to actually come up and push us back closer to like that 415 level, but we just kind of stayed pinned there at the end there. So I think we saw a little bit of exhaustion. If you haven't read the document, you're not going to read it. One thing I'm watching for tomorrow, and my game plan is that over the last four CPIs, starting at about 1 o'clock, but mostly the last two have started exactly at 2 o'clock, we have seen big sell-offs. They're averaging about 1.5% drop total from like 1 p.m. until end of day, with the most being in June, which was a 2.3% drop from 2 p.m. till market close. If you haven't looked at the last two CPI days, the intraday movements, I pull up a chart on June 9th and July 12th. They're pretty interesting to look at the trend, especially July and June especially, because June was a very big red day. All right, so let's take a look at the daily here on SPY. Super busy. I hate how busy this is, but we're kind of at that point right now where we're reaching a peak, and it looks like we're about to come down here. So, this is kind of the trend I've been watching. We did break out of this trend here. This was the big one that I was kind of comparing everything to, this May 27th through June 8th. Had we rejected 414.5 and continued down, I would have think we were pretty much identically getting that. We would expect a red day tomorrow. However, that did not happen. So we're going to watch tomorrow and see what our movement is. Overall, we have this resistance line. So this was kind of my projected breakdown triangle. So we did break out, which once we broke this resistance here, which was at 413.8 for today, we shot all the way up this morning. It was a very strong movement up this morning too. We went straight to 417.62, which is our lovely daily 200 EMA. I said that was an important spot where we may reject and to watch, and I said I had gone in with a plan that if we reject there, I'm going to be looking for puts. I did let that play out this morning and got a nice 22% off that. This is also the level that I'm watching of resistance to basically, we're either going to trend in here or we're going to break out and we're going to start heading towards 430. So this line was broken, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. Now, it cleans it up a little bit. So we kind of actually have two different bull channels. We have this blue one, which goes all the way back to July 14th. So you can see we've touched it a couple times on the upside, and we've touched it a couple times on the downside now too for support. So tomorrow, 413.4. That is the line in the sand. If we break this, I'm expecting us to start drifting down here. We're going to eventually test 405, and if CPI is bad enough, I think we could see 390s, low 390s by end of week. Resistance-wise now, so we have this go back to support. So we have this support line, and then we're also kind of forming this other bull channel right here. It's very mild. You can see here that it'll give us support tomorrow at 411.2. So those are going to be the two most important levels. If we break through that, then the next one after that is this 407.5, which is the daily 100 EMA. I would be kind of surprised tomorrow to see us break down below the 100 EMA, but it's very possible. It would take a 1.4% drop total to get to that 100 EMA. So I'm going to be watching those tomorrow. Resistance-wise, we close down here. So resistance is this 414.6. I'll be watching that. If we reject there and we start trending back down, I'm going to be looking for a put entry on that. But if we are able to continue upwards here, we're going to be looking at 414.5, and then we're going to retest the 200 EMA. If we can break through that and close over it, that is very bullish going forward, and that could set up, like I was saying, towards 430. Overall tomorrow, though, like I said, historically it's been a pretty red day coming forward. So the day before CPI and the 2 days put together before CPI. So I'm definitely more expecting a breakdown. I'll be looking for the 100 EMA by end of day. Just reading a couple of my notes real quick here, make sure I don't miss anything for you guys. So that's about it for the daily on SPY. Pretty much like I said, until we break the 200 or the 100 though, there's just nothing to go long on either way, puts or calls. So weekly rise, pretty interesting trend here. I was saying this is what we were looking like this May 23rd through June 6th, these 3 weeks right here, which this was CPI week. So we're kind of setting up similar. It's not quite the same because this is more of a stair step than a true triple top, but this 415 level right here came in as very nice resistance today. And we closed below that, and the bears were able to defend that. So if we stay down in this level, we're going to be looking at that 408.7, 408.6 level. This is going to be key support to watch also if we start breaking down tomorrow. If we break through this support, then we're breaking the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 week long bull support. And like I was saying before, this is one of the biggest run-ups we've had all year. So if this breaks, I expect we're going to see 390s over the next week or two. So we'll flip over the futures. So the nice thing about futures is it's always going, right? So what do you see here? You see we have broke the support. So the 9 week long blue bull channel has officially been broken as of futures opening tonight. Now, it doesn't mean we're just going to immediately dump. It just means that the strong bull momentum we had, it's gone now. We are through support. I'm going to be watching, and we've already seen it reject there once tonight, the 4157. That's going to be key resistance. You see, it's all these candle bodies for the last 4 days now have been underneath this level. So this is going to be the key level to watch. We're already through support, so we don't have to worry about that, which tells me tomorrow SPY should break through their support here, and we should start looking for about 409.5 minimum tomorrow. But like I said, I think we're going to see this 407.5 tomorrow. Next support is also this red. This one I have highlighted as a black here just because of where it was interlined there, but we'll go ahead and change that over to red to make it even. So it's kind of more almost, if you really zoom out, it actually is a rising wedge on at least futures. On SPY, it's not. It's actually a channel. But support for that is going to be right here at 41.27. And then our 100 EMA is all the way down here at 40.88. So these are some key levels to watch. Now, of course, the bulls can always come back tomorrow with killer volume and run this up. Wouldn't be surprised to see that. So we're going to be looking for, here's a 200 EMA of 41.82. We'll be testing that tomorrow if the bulls have the momentum. And then from there, we're looking at 42.03 as resistance. The weekly looks the same. This one looks a little better set up than SPY does. And you can see that even this week here was not quite like the beautiful setup that SPY had. So 41.59. That's the level. That's what we got to watch. If we can close into that and hold that and defend that for the rest of the week, there's a pretty good chance that we see some decent sell-offs. Then we look at Apple. Apple really didn't have a very impressive day. It was pretty red, honestly, pretty minimal. But the key takeaways I have from Apple is this 166.2 level has been pretty strong resistance now. We have 3 candles, almost 4, rejecting off of it in the last, obviously, week now. I suspect, and we pretty much almost reaffirmed this resistance line right here for one of the possible rising wedges you can see forming here. So from here, I don't expect us to go back over this 166.2 level. I think this will become resistance from now on. And we're going to be looking at 163.1 as support. For tomorrow, its bull channel, which is the one that we saw futures break through, is 160.93. To get through that for Apple tomorrow, which would set up, in my opinion, a pretty bearish CPI, would be a nice 2.3% drop. So that's not too bad. In all reality, that's pretty achievable. So we'll have to see what happens tomorrow with that. So I'll be watching that. However, if the bulls do break through 166.2, key resistance is 168.2, and then finally 168.9 up here. Apple Weekly, there really isn't a whole lot going on, not much to say. Like I said last week, the weekly's kind of a little more boring, just not a lot going on. But key resistance this week is at 172.1 and 160.9. Be watching. The VIX, still doing its thing, still in that falling wedge. Overall, though, we are seeing a base be put in here at 21.1. We have 1, basically 2, 3, 4 candles that have all pretty much found support here. This will be key to watch tomorrow, especially end of day, as a hint to the 2 p.m. dump. If we see the VIX start skyrocketing, especially if we see the VIX for whatever reason break through 23.2 to really sell it, that is our hint that we're about to see a big dump on SPY. I'll be watching tomorrow to see where we close and if I want to play puts overnight. I don't love the way this CPI has been talked about, I guess. I mean, it's weird with the forecast being, or the consensus being changed, and their consensus is just so low right now that I have a hard time believing it, for one. So I have 2 theories. Either one, the CPI is going to come in just terrible. It's going to be over the 9.1 for the previous, so about 9.2 probably would be my guess is what we're actually going to get. I think markets will not care because they know they have another CPI in September before the FOMC rate hike. So in reality, even if the CPI is bad, we'll get the drop initially in the overreaction pre-market, but we'll probably open and we'll see the same thing as July. However, if CPI is good, and it is at 8.7 consensus, which would be obviously under the previous 9.1, which could possibly show a peak, then I do think that we're going to get a big bull run, and I'll be looking for 430. My worst case scenarios, as of right now, is if CPI is dog water, we see 390 by end of week. If it's wonderful, we test 430, 432. Those are the levels I'm watching. That's about it. Like I said, today was a good day. Today was one of those days where I played this dump right here, and then I attempted to play this rise right here, but I don't know what happened on my Thinkorswim, but I was up quite a few percent, or like about 6% or something like that. I was trying to get a fill, and it just kept dropping, and I was trying to get a fill about 4%, and it kept dropping, so I ended up getting out for about 1%, which isn't not much, but it was better than going red. But after that, there really wasn't a whole lot for me to play today, so today was just a patience day for me. It was nice to basically, I guess, test my strategy in real life and see if there was any continuation. So I never really had a full-on sign that I should buy, which was nice, which tells me that what I'm looking for is working. So overall, great day. It's a great day on a lesson of you don't always have to trade. If you get one good win, the risk to reward there is not trading. You're trading risks your profits. So if you're already at your daily goal, or especially your weekly goal in one day, you trading more, you're just risking that profits. Especially when you start seeing the chop like this and it's not your ideal setup. Like this was perfect right here, the double top at a key resistance and knowing it's going to drop, and then we broke the 8 EMA right here. I knew I was going to be okay. I could get into a good level. Here is probably the only other good spot I could have played a put, but I just didn't. But overall, when you make a trade, you got to ask yourself, what's the risk and reward? Am I risking more than I'm going to get rewarded? Or is the reward worth the risk? If it's not, don't take the trade. And something else that we talked about today in the server was every trade should be your first trade of the day. So even if you get a big win the first trade, the next trade, it's a new trade. Look at your criteria. Does it meet all your criteria? If it does not, don't take the trade. And if you get a big loss your first trade, look at the second trade. Does it meet your criteria? Yep, take it. Don't worry about the first trade. You made a mistake, bad entry, bad fill, whatever happens, happens. Move on. Find a good one. Don't try to overtrade to get back to green. Just trade what you got. That's like the biggest mistake I see people making is they make a bad trade, they end up red. So then the next trade, they either open up their position size, and then that one becomes a loser. And then now they have 3 big losses basically because they doubled their position size and they have the first loss. Or they are taking trades they should not be taking, and then that one becomes a loser too. So now you have 2 losers. So either way, you have to stick to your strategy. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Worry about your strategy. What's working for you? All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for tuning into this video. If you like the video, go ahead and like and follow me just to support the page. I provided my Discord link here. This is the lifetime link, so sometimes there's issues with this. If you have any issues, just go ahead and send me a message and I'll get you a temporary link that'll work. Some benefits of the Discord is I do a pre-market update with some key support and resistance levels to watch. Throughout the day, I'm on there doing live commentary on SPY and the general market with updates about key levels that are broken. I also do live trade alerts. Currently, it's $20 per month or $228 for the year. If you want to follow me, I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit under Daddy Dersh. Thank you.